Hi guys, so this is Bidmas. So Bidmas is to help us remember the order we use the word Bidmas, so the order of operations. So in Bidmas, B stands for brackets, I stands for indices, D stands for division, M stands for multiplication, and A and S stand for adding and subtracting. So Bidmas is used in order to help us all do the same operations in the same way. So if we look, for example, at 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4. So if you look at this for a second, you've got 2 plus 3 multiplied by 4. So you'll see that there's two operations happening in this. And what I mean by operations is I mean by the add and the subtract. So there's an addition and an addition and multiplication in this one. So there's an addition and there's a multiplication happening here. So which one do you do first? So if you did the addition first, then you would do 2 plus 3, which is 5, and you multiply that by 4, so you get 20. That's if you did the addition first. But if I did the multiplication first, I would do 3 multiplied by 4, which is 12, and then add on the 2, which is 14. So I actually get two different answers here, depending on which one I do first. So that's a problem that's in maths. And so to counteract that, what we have is we have Bidmas, and that helps us to remember which operation is right to do first. So it helps us to do the same operations first, and so we all get the same answers. So to help us remember, we use the word Bidmas. So what it means is you're going to look at the top thing in this box, so B. So if there's brackets in a question, you'll always do those first, so they take priority. I is next, that's indices. So I want to explain indices really quickly. Indices involves things like powers and roots. So for example, if you were to see 2 squared in something, so 2 squared would be 2 times itself, so 2 times itself is 4. So if you see indices like that, a power, that means that would come first. And also this square root, so if you saw something like square root of 25 or something like that, that's another example of something within indices, so that would come first, that takes priority as well. Then division, then multiplication, and addition and subtraction. So let's look at example 1 here. So we've got 5 multiplied by 3 plus 5 squared. So there's actually 3 operations happening in this. There's a multiply, there's an add, and then there's a squaring going on. So let's go down through Bidmas anyway. So if I look at B first, so if there's brackets in the question, then I'm going to do the brackets first. So in example 1 here, there's no brackets that we can see, so therefore I can't do any brackets. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do the indices. And like I was saying then, the 5 squared is indices, so that means that takes priority. I have to do the indices first. So 5 squared means 5 multiplied by 5 times itself, so that's 25. And then I just bring down everything else, so 5 multiplied by 3 plus. And by doing it this way, then you've shown that you've done the indices first, and you're moving on to the next step or the next line. Then I would do division. So in this question then, there's no division, so I have to just move on. Then I do multiplication, and there is multiplication. There's 5 multiplied by 3, which is 15. And then I have to add on the 25 still, so I'm just bringing down the plus 25. And then my last thing is the add and subtraction, so there is adding, so 15 plus 25 is 40. So my final answer there is 40. Second one then, I go back up to the start of Bidmas again. So if there's brackets in the question, I do that first. So in this question there is brackets, so there's a 2 plus 1 inside the bracket, so therefore I do those first. 2 plus 1 is 3. And then I just bring down everything else. So I bring down this squared because I haven't squared anything yet. I haven't done anything with the squared. So next step is indices. So there is indices here again. There's a 3, the first 3 is being squared, so I'm going to square that. 3 multiplied by itself is 9, so 3 squared is 9. Then I'm bringing down that multiplied by 3 again. And then I do division next, but there's no division left, and then I do multiplication after that, so 9 times 3 is 27. So my final answer there is 27. So try to remember, you're starting with the B every time, so if there's brackets you do them, then indices, then division, multiplication and addition and subtraction after that. So here's 6 questions then, so if you want to try these now, and then just pause the video and then have a go at them, and then when you've got them done, if you want to play on the video, I'll go through the answer for you. Right, so the first one, I'll just do it up here just for space. So 4 plus 5 squared. So first thing I do is brackets, but there's no brackets, so I do indices then. There is indices, 5 squared is 25. Then you do division and multiplication, but there's none of those, so you do addition, subtraction next. So 4 plus 25 is 29. So that's the answer to the first one. Second one, 128 minus 8 squared. So again, I do brackets first, but there's no brackets, so there is indices. 8 squared is 64, so I get 128 minus 64, and then I'm going to get 64 as my final answer. So 128 minus 64 is 64. Third one, I do the indices first, so I get 4 plus 2 multiplied by 9. Then next I'll be doing the multiplication, so that's 18. So 4 plus 18 is 22. Fourth one, so there's two sets of indices in here. There's a square root of 25 and there's 4 squared. So you must do both of those first. It doesn't really matter which one you do first. I'll just do the square root of 25, which is 5. And 4 squared then means 4 multiplied by itself, so 4 times 4 is 16. So I'm bringing down everything else then, the 2 times and the plus, just as they were before, so just bring them down in the same place. Next I do division, so there's no division. Next I do multiplication, so 2 times 5 is 10, and I have to add on 16, so 10 plus 16 is 26. Next, I do there's 2 sets of indices again. There's a 3 squared, which is 9, and there's a square root of 16, which is 4. Next, I do the division, so there's no division. Then I do multiplication, so 6 multiplied by 9 is 54. Minus 4, so 54 minus 4 is 50. Last one then, I'm going to do the indices first, so 5 squared is 25. 2 multiplied by 25 divided by 10. Next you do the we should be doing division next, so if I do 25 divided by 10, that would be 2.5 or 2.5, and then multiplication, so is 2 multiplied by 2.5 is 5.